Hi, and welcome to the second tutorial in the Make Wordle with Python tutorial series. I don't know what actual number this is, but it's the second concept, so I'm calling it the second tutorial. Last time we created a program to make 5-letter words, and this was our program here, and then this is what it generated. We have an exhaustive list of 5-letter words. We're going to actually ignore all that for the moment and move on to another critical part of making a Wordle game, which is to colorize the background surrounding a letter. And as I've thought about this, I think one of the easiest ways to do it will be to use a import called colorama and use that to just make a quick statement that will allow us to color whatever text we give it with the background that we choose. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Why don't we go ahead and start what will become our Wordle game. So I'm going to open up a new file here, and I'm going to call it wordle.py. So we can just start that off. Save as wordle.py. Okay. So to start, we're going to import several things that we're going to need to use. I almost always import sys and os, so we'll start there. Import sys os, import colorama. And from colorama, we're going to import a few things just so that we don't have to say colorama.for, colorama.back, colorama.style, etc. So from colorama, import for, back, and style. S-T-Y-L-E. Okay. Later on, we're going to use random. From the random library, we're going to use something called choice. So we'll go ahead and import that now. Well, what are we going to say? From random import choice. And then those are the imports that I believe we need. To initialize colorama for use, we have to call it into. We have to initialize it. So we just write color.init, open close parentheses. Now it's initialized. And so we're going to make a definition that will take in the color choice we want and the statement we want to print, so that we don't have to write or look at a big ugly statement. And we're also going to set some parameters that we know we're going to end up using when we do this thing. One of which is that the end of our print statement needs to not end up with a new line character, which is the normal for a print statement, but it needs to end with no instructions as to return carriage or start a new line. So this is how we're going to do that. We'll say we're going to make a definition. I'm calling it print back. And it's going to take as input a statement and a color. And what it will do is it will print the color plus style.bright, all caps there, B-R-I-G-H-T, plus, now we'll use an F string, and inside the F string we're going to open close curly braces and just put our statement. I suppose we could just put the statement there directly, but this is how I'm choosing to do it at the moment. Then we're going to invoke style again, style.reset underscore all. So what that will do is it will remove all of this colorizing that we're doing, style, and reset to the default. Which is that's the behavior we want, and then our final keyword here will be end equal, and it's just empty string, meaning don't start a new line after you've printed this thing we want to print. Okay, so this is our print back definition, and that's it. It will do almost the same thing as print, except that it will take a statement and a color. We also need to define our colors so that they're useful in Python. So in this case, I'm just going to say green, oops, equals back dot green. Okay, back is from the colorama library, and so now green will be a variable that invokes the green color for the background around text. We can do the same for yellow, back dot yellow, and for a gray color we need to use something called light black underscore ex. So I'm going to spell gray with an E and say back dot light black underscore ex. Okay, so now we just want to test our print statement. And so we can just test it by saying print hello, oops, world, exclamation point, and we'll do that in green with a no capital. Well, but not just print, we just want to say print back. Alright, print back, hello world green. And then we could say yellow and gray. Now, I have an expectation for how this is going to behave, which is that it will print hello world, hello world, hello world with no spaces, and so the H from the yellow hello world will be right on the heels of that exclamation point. So we can could add just a regular print statement in between each of these to make it a little prettier. And let's see what that does. So now this should separate each one and put a space between, perhaps. Let us find out. So we're going to say Python Wordle.py. And there it is. Hello world, hello world, hello world. We have our green, yellow, and gray color scheme, which is the color scheme that we're going to need to use if we're making a Wordle type game. And of course, we can just send it a single letter. We also, maybe we want to just test that feature of it just to make sure. So if we go back here and say, we'll get rid of the spaces, the in between, and we'll say H E L, and we'll copy this, so another L, and we'll copy one more and make it an O, and we'll color that one green again. Alright, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, but I'm spelling out the word hello. I'm coloring one green, one yellow, one gray, or two gray, and then one green. And that should all spell out hello, all like one letter or one word, but with all the different color schemes I've defined. So let's make sure that that is the behavior we see. And there it is. H-E-L-L-O. Alright. Well, thank you for watching this brief tutorial on how to use colorama to color the background of letters in our Wordle game. In our next tutorial, we will put together some test words and attempt to construct the logic that will go into making the actual Wordle game. We'll see you in that tutorial. Bye.